Welcome back to our discussion on formulating corporate strategies. In this lesson, the subject is vertical integration. Vertical integration is a strategy that many firms use to gain control over their industry's value chain. This strategy is one of the major considerations when developing corporate level strategy. The important question in corporate strategy is whether the company should participate in one activity, one industry, or many activities, many industries along the industry value chain. For example, the firm has to decide if it only manufactures its products or should it also engage in retailing and after-sales services. Two issues have to be considered regarding vertical integration. Cost. As mentioned in an earlier lesson, an organization should vertically integrate when the cost of making the product inside the company are lower than the cost of buying that product in the market. Second, scope of the firm. A firm should consider whether moving into new industries would dilute its current competencies or not. New activities in a company are also harder to manage and control. Vertical integration can be either forward or backward in the industry value chain. Let's spend a minute and discuss considerations in pursuing a vertical integration strategy. First, let's start with forward integration. If the manufacturing company engages in sales or after-sales industries, it pursues a forward integration strategy. This strategy is implemented when the firm wants to achieve higher economies of scale and larger market share. The internet and virtual distribution channels have provided many organizations with the opportunity to easily integrate forward, assuming roles once reserved for distributors and retailers. For example, many manufacturing firms have built their online stores and started selling their products directly to consumers, bypassing retailers. A forward integration strategy is effective when there are few quality distributors available in the industry, when distributors or retailers have high profit margins. In this case, capturing a larger portion of the industry profits drives the vertical integration strategy. When distributors are very expensive, unreliable, or unable to meet the firm's distribution needs, or when the industry is expected to grow significantly, or when access to customers improve customer insights and future product development. Also, when direct customer input improves the ability to forecast future demand, enhancing and improving operational and marketing-related decision-making. It's also important that the firm has enough resources and capabilities to manage the new combined businesses. When the same manufacturing company starts making intermediate goods for itself or takes over its previous suppliers, it pursues backward integration. Firms implement backward integration strategies in order to secure stable inputs of resources and to become more efficient. Backward integration strategy is most beneficial when firms' current suppliers are unreliable, expensive, or cannot supply the required inputs, when there are only a few suppliers but many competitors in the industry, when the industry is expanding rapidly, when the prices of inputs are unstable, when suppliers earn high profit margins. And again, it's also important that the firm has the necessary resources and capabilities to manage the new combined businesses. Now let's talk through a few examples of vertical integration. The merger of Live Nation and Ticketmaster created a virtually integrated entertainment company that manages and represents artists, produces shows, and sells event tickets. From the perspective of Live Nation, this is an example of forward integration. From that of Ticketmaster, it's backward integration. Another example is when the Coca-Cola Company reacquired Coca-Cola Enterprises in 2010. In 1986, Coca-Cola spun out Coca-Cola Enterprises, its collection of local bottling companies in North America. Strategically, Coke wanted to continue the consolidation of independent bottlers, but in a company that was specifically created to do so. Coke also wanted the capital-intensive bottling company's assets off of its balance sheet. Coke did retain a minority interest in the company to preserve a future repurchase option. By reversing the 1986 decision in 2010, Coca-Cola re-vertically integrated forward in the industry value chain. By the way, PepsiCo did the same in 2009, reacquiring bottlers that PepsiCo had sold off in 1999. Some of the best-known examples of vertical integration have been in the oil industry. In the 1970s and the 1980s, Many companies that were primarily engaged in exploration and extraction of crude petroleum decided to acquire downstream refineries and distribution networks. Companies such as Shell and BP came to control every step involved in bringing oil from its North Sea and Alaska origins to their customers. The idea of vertical integration has taken a step further by Dell Computer, one of the most successful companies in the 1990s. Michael Dell, its founder, said that he combined the traditional vertical integration of the supply chain with the special characteristics of the virtual organization to create something that he called virtual integration. Dell assembles computers from other firms' parts, but it has relationships with those firms that are more binding than the traditional links between buyer and supplier. It does not own them in the way a vertically integrated firm would, but through exchanges of information and a variety of loose associations, it achieves much the same aim. Vertical integration is a difficult strategy for companies to implement successfully. It's often expensive and it's hard to reverse. In our next video lesson, I will discuss the benefits and risks of a virtual integration strategy. If you have any questions regarding virtual integration, please leave them at the forum. And thank you for watching.